first in high definition from the station on your side. This is WAVY News 10.
The bigger, the tougher they are, the bigger the heart.
Hear why the Chesapeake Fire Department's newest truck is giving up red for pretty in pink. Then, the sound of Navy jets is going to get louder in two Hampton Road cities. Find out if they'll be flying in your neighborhood. And we're learning more about a father killed in this fiery crash. Tonight, what police say caused his SUV to go up in flames. Plus, the verdict is in for Casey Anthony.
To the charge of first-degree murder, verdict as to count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
You heard it there. A jury found Casey Anthony not guilty of killing her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee.
After deliberating for less than 11 hours, jurors returned that verdict late this afternoon. 10 on your side's Jay Gray is in Orlando, Florida.
To the charge of first-degree murder, verdict as to count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
After deliberating 10 hours and 44 minutes over a day and a half, the jury of 5 men and 7 women made its decision just before 2 this afternoon, telling the court and the world they did not believe Casey Anthony killed her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee.
As to the charge of aggravated child abuse, verdict as to count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty. As to the charge of aggravated manslaughter of a child, verdict as to count 3. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
Casey Anthony broke down, crying, hugging her attorneys, at one point mouthing the words, "Thank you." Prosecutors sat in stunned silence as the defense team celebrated. Anthony smiling openly for the first time in front of the jury.
Casey did not murder Kaylee. It's that simple. And today, our system of justice has not dishonored her memory by a false conviction.
She was found guilty on 4 lesser counts of providing false information to a law officer. The maximum sentence for those offenses is 4 years, and she will likely get credit for the 3 years she's already served waiting for trial. The decision marks the end of a trial that lasted more than 6 weeks, a tragedy that stretched out over 3 years. Kaylee first thought to be missing until 6 months later when her remains were found in this wooded swamp near her grandparents' home. For investigators, the grisly discovery sealed their case against her mom. The evidence from their investigation, all circumstantial and more than 400 items. The testimony from dozens of witnesses, all played out in courtroom 23, leaving an impression on the jury that for the first time was made public this afternoon. Casey Anthony not guilty in the death of her little girl. Jay Gray, NBC News, Orlando.
Many of you have an opinion about the Casey Anthony verdict. On Facebook, Pam said, "Unreal. Is anyone proud of our justice system now?" Linda said, "To take the case to trial without sufficient evidence was wrong. Now, if they do get the evidence, they cannot retry her again."
And we heard both sides there, but we want to know what you think about this verdict, and many of you are already weighing in. Now, on our website, we have a poll, WAVY.com. It's all here. Do you think Casey Anthony is guilty of first-degree murder? That's the question. So far, 81% of you say yes, she is. 9% saying no and 9% not sure. 551 votes. Log on to WAVY.com to let us know what you think.
We now know the name of the man killed in a fiery car accident Sunday night. Virginia State Police say the driver of this car was 38-year-old Joseph Anthony Weschler. He served in the Navy and was based in Norfolk. Weschler's 2011 Chevy Traverse caught fire after a leaking fuel line ignited the engine. His wife and son remain in the hospital. Senator Side's Melanie Woodrow spoke with Weschler's neighbors, who said the family has had a terrible string of luck. Melanie?
That's right, Nicole. Apparently the family was living in Moyock, North Carolina, but neighbors tell me this past January, Joseph Weschler's house caught fire, and that wasn't the first time he'd escaped death.
Virginia State Police say 38-year-old Joseph Weschler did not survive this fiery accident. A 10 on your side viewer captured video of Weschler's 2011 Chevy Traverse on fire Sunday night.
It's very hard to believe, and they've been going through so much.
Neighbor Rick Keston had no idea. He saw Weschler a few days ago here at his North Carolina home. The home is being renovated after it caught fire in January.
It happened early in the morning. Michelle knocked on our door screaming that her house was on fire.
Keston took these pictures the next day. He said Weschler was sleeping above the charred garage when the fire started.
He You got lucky. They all got lucky.
Sunday night, Weschler's wife, Michelle, and his 4-year-old son, Dalton, were in the SUV. Michelle escaped, and another driver helped to rescue Dalton from the back seat. Virginia State Police say Weschler bought this SUV this past March in North Carolina. Keston remembers.
He came up in a new pickup. I didn't recognize his truck. I said, "Where's your truck?" He says, "Oh, it's totaled." It's totaled. So yeah, I got broadsided by a tractor trailer.
Another brush with death, and Keston said even 4-year-old Dalton nearly died.
Last year, almost drowned in his back pool. He's had so much bad luck, and I thought it would get better, but it's not, you know.
This latest accident stripping the family of a husband and father.
I couldn't imagine anything worse happening to these guys, except what just happened.
Michelle Weschler remains in critical condition in the burn unit. Hospital officials do not have consent to release the 4-year-old's condition. In the newsroom, Melanie Woodrow, 10 on your side.
And we did some digging. There have been no recalls or technical service bulletins for the 2011 Chevy Traverse.
Strong storms moved through Hampton roads last night. Quite a light show Mother Nature put on. Wind, rain, flooded streets, knocked down trees. And yeah, you saw some of those pictures there from reported at WAVY.com. Some serious lightning there. Nature's own fireworks show. I'm here with 10 on your side Chief Meteorologist Don Slater. More storms tonight, possibly?
Possibly. Now, the thing about it is, if you see a storm tonight, they're going to be very, very widely scattered. So it's not as big a chance of rain during the evening and overnight hours, but there's a slight chance out there. Want to show you what's going on right now. Not that terribly much. We are looking at some rainfall into the region, and certainly a lot of humidity and some clouds popping on up, trying to get organized, but most of them not doing so. The only place that we're seeing some rain is an area we really, really need about 6 inches of steady rain. And no lightning. There are 220 lightning strikes out there, however. And the thing about it is, again, that fire is right on down into here. So that is going to be really, really helpful. The fire is contained, but it's not put out. So, again, that is the only rainfall that's out there. You can see it looks a lot like rain. Not much rain out there. Only an isolated storm this evening. Better chance, much better chance of rain coming up tomorrow afternoon. And the biggest threats from any storm, rain. Underlined all capital letters. In other words, heavy rain and some lightning. We'll talk more about what we can expect in the next few days in a few minutes.
All right, the skies were alive last night from both man and nature. Lightning and fireworks both filled the sky over Norfolk. Several other fireworks displays were canceled because of the weather. 10 on your side's Ali Lucia joins us from Victory Park now in Newport News, where their show is going on tonight. Ali?
Yeah, Tom, a lot of people will be making their way back to this park for round 2, a second attempt of the fireworks display. We were in Newport News all over today and saw a lot of extensive damage, but hopefully that weather will cooperate and people can enjoy this annual 4th of July event. The damage is done.
There was road signs, debris all over, tree limbs hit my van.
Not only did the Independence Day storm leave a lot of people inside on what is usually a fireworks-filled night, it left extensive damage in this neighborhood in Newport News.
It sounded almost like a transformer blowing. I saw a flash of light out front.
Jason Wells says when he looked out the window, he couldn't believe the storm had caused this.
I opened the windows up and I had to shut them again because I thought I was just seeing things.
During the peak of the Monday evening storm, Dominion Virginia Power says 27,000 were left without power, leaving only one light show in town, this one in Norfolk.
When we're out there on the water, we were ready to shoot.
But a day later in Newport News, this show is back in business.
You can see it's kind of angled, so when it shoots out, it's going to shoot like a fan, and it'll do back and forth like that.
Steve Allen is the man behind the 15-minute fireworks show set to go off on this 5th of July.
They go back here, and this is called the shooter shack where we'll be hiding behind.
Newport News Fire says since 2002, the show has only been stopped one other time. But Matt Meach says even if it's a day late, he's excited for this barge to go off.
I'm excited to see what they're going to have there tonight. They got a whole barge full of fireworks.
Steve says this barge will be back for tonight's main event.
Oh, it's going to be an outstanding show. It's going to be the best show out here tonight.
It got posted. And that barge will be leaving the dock in about an hour. Fireworks set to go off here at 9 o'clock. And Steve is guaranteeing a good show, Tom.
A little extension of the holiday weekend. Why not? All right. Thanks, Allie, reporting live from Newport News. Organizers canceled displays in Suffolk, Yorktown, Mount Trashmore, the oceanfront. And we just heard Newport News in Currituck. Suffolk officials plan to reschedule their show. And as Allie said, the show at Victory Landing Park tonight at 9 o'clock. The show at Busch Gardens is also on. That starts at 9:30 and is included with park admission. You can look at all the events canceled by the storm and possible makeup dates. Get it all straightened out on WAVY.com. Just click on the story on the homepage.
Rain didn't stop a 4th of July fireworks show in Boston, but a fire did. Look at that. We'll show you more of the damage then. One city got a break from jet noise like that, while 2 others are bracing themselves for what's to come. Why they might be flying more often over your neighborhood. Police are investigating a robbery in downtown Portsmouth. They say 2 armed men robbed this rent-to-own store at the corner of High Street and London Boulevard this morning. Police say they took money and personal items from employees. If you have any information that can help them with this case, call the crime line at 1-888-LOCK-YOU-UP. Someone called 911 after they saw smoke coming from the window of a Newport News home. Crews got right to work when they arrived at this house on Hurley Avenue this morning. They quickly got the fire under control. Most of the damage was contained to the roof and the attic. No one was home at the time. The cause is under investigation.
Fireworks that weren't part of the show in Boston leads news across the nation tonight. A fireworks barge ignited around 5 a.m. Investigators still don't know why. Firefighters with the harbor unit there in the city got it under control after about an hour. Nobody was hurt. Another chilling example of violence in the workplace. 2 people shot and killed in Kentucky. Police were called to the Louisville Gas and Electric building around noon. We're told a worker went into the supervisor's office, shot him, and then killed himself. Police aren't sure why this all happened.
We have a 10 on your side traffic alert. Find out when the Gilmerton Bridge is closing for construction and how it could impact your commute.
I was nervous at my game face, dude.
And how a group of disabled veterans traveled to new heights for the 4th of July. That sound of Navy jets could get even louder for some people in Norfolk and Virginia Beach as training shifts to other locations. Now, in January, the Navy plans to shut down Fentress Airfield in Chesapeake for 9 months of repairs. 10 on your sides, Ava Hurdle has more.
It's loud. Really loud.
Jake withheld his last name but gives his take on the Navy jets that fly over his Gatewood Park home near NAS Oceana. He has this to say about the prospect of more noise.
You can't even watch a movie in your house. What takes an hour to watch a movie takes about 3 because you're sitting there pausing it. Wait for the jets to go by. You got 6 of them, and then you got 5 minutes of silence, and then just non-stop.
Jets based at Oceana won't be able to use the auxiliary landing field at Fentress when repairs start in January and continue for 9 months. So that means more maneuvers at Chambers Field in Norfolk and at Oceana. With more Navy jets flying overhead, that means more noise for residents, but it means the Navy gets to keep up with its training schedule for deployments. Captain Robert Geis is the executive officer at NAS Oceana.
The consequences of not doing it right are catastrophic. So we don't want to do that. We're going to be training. We'll continue to train. And when we train, we try and be good neighbors. And we'll continue to keep that in the forefront of everything we do.
He says the Navy will notify everyone in advance if training goes later than normal. In Virginia Beach, Ava Hurdle, 10 on your side.
They certainly are loud, though. The Navy says repairs are needed at Fentress to comply with federal aviation and safety regulations.
A group of disabled veterans took on a daredevil mission, that is, for the 4th of July.
First guy out. Second guy out. Yeah!
They met in Boulder, Colorado to go skydiving, jumping from a plane 7,000 feet up. A group called Operation Rebound organized the trip.
It's donated events so that we can get the veterans out and about, out of their house.
It's for all the guys that have come back from the Iraq War with some type of injury.
Operation Rebound is a nonprofit organization. It relies on donations to put together trips like this one.
Now, in high definition, your Super Dot for 10 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
Okay, look at Super Dot for 10 Live. Again, no rain in the area for most of the area. Really, the vast majority of it is no rain, but even though it's looking a lot like rain, here it is, Super Dot for 10 Live. I'll show you what's going on into the region. You can see one lone area of rain right where they need it, right about over the fire. Now, it's not real strong. It's not going to be real long lasting, but they are going to get some rain out of this. But in addition to that, they're getting some lightning. A few lightning strikes out over the sound. Manteo getting some rain. Wanshie's getting some rain. South Nags Head area, Nags Head area getting some rain as well. But here's the concentration of it, and it's starting to fall apart a bit, kind of splitting into two areas, and not quite as strong as it was. So hopefully they'll get some good solid rain out of that. And the rest of us, most of the rest of us, I think northeast North Carolina parts of the area could still use some rain, but really from Virginia or the Virginia-North Carolina state line northward, we had a lot of rain last night. Not much rain, though, for today. Not all that much this evening. We could see a stray shower, a thunderstorm, whatever rain we get. If you get a thunderstorm over the top of you, it could produce a very heavy rain because they're likely to be very slow movers. 9 o'clock in the evening, not much out there. Take it through the overnight hours. Relatively quiet. Now, future track is picking up on an area of thunderstorms south of Lynchburg Wednesday morning at 7, right along the state line, noon hour, 10-mile-an-hour winds. There's where things are by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Pretty good slug of rainfall moving on through the region. 5 to 10-mile-an-hour winds by 7 o'clock in the evening. Notice winds are flipping around a little bit. There's kind of a concentration right about through here, right along and just north of the Virginia-North Carolina state line. Now, there's where things are Thursday at 7. Thursday at the noon hour, things are concentrated mostly right on up into here. So there's a little bit of a difference going on. And that difference is a wind shift line. I'm going to just show it to you. 9 o'clock this evening. You can kind of see how winds are flipping around a little bit different directions. And the focal point is along these wind shift lines. East wind here, fairly light. Southwest wind here, a little bit stronger, but still fairly light. And you can see a low pressure area climbing northeastward along that wind shift line. And then by Thursday, the whole pattern shifts slightly. So everything is on off to the north in terms of the wind shift line. And that's likely to be where the heavier rain is going to be, or the rain itself is going to be during the day on Thursday. Now, right now, partly cloudy skies, 84, 85. We saw a high today of 86, 73 was our low. Some other areas did warm on up a little bit more into some inland areas. 90 degrees, for example, into Suffolk. Right now, 88 degrees into Chesapeake. Now, our extended forecast, 7-day forecast, 90 tomorrow, much better chance of rain. Slight chance of rain Thursday, good chance of rain again on Friday.
A quick 10-time saver traffic alert for drivers in Chesapeake this week. The Gilmerton Bridge will be closed Thursday night for critical construction projects. Closure starts at 8 p.m. Thursday and will wrap up by 5 Friday morning. Maritime traffic will not be affected there. Drivers are advised to use the I-64 high-rise bridge as an alternate route. A new fire truck is turning heads.
And it's for a good cause.
We feel like we need to do something. We just want to show support to our brothers and to the community, let them know that we're there thinking about them.
So find out why this fire truck that's normally red is now pretty in pink.
And the countdown is on for the last space shuttle launch, but officials say there could be a delay. What's possibly holding up liftoff? You might do a double take the next time you see the Chesapeake Fire Department's newest addition.
10 on your side's Joel Hilton explains why.
When you think about the fire department, you probably think about big red trucks, right? Well, Chesapeake firefighters have had something a little different on their minds recently, and it's making people see pink. Don't adjust the color on your sets, folks. Yep. It's the Chesapeake Fire Department's pink fire truck.
I love pink and I wanted to take a picture of it. It's beautiful.
You see, Chesapeake firefighters wanted to do something a little special for a special group of their own.
A time in our department where some members of our department were diagnosed with cancer, and it just seemed for a while there that you know, every week somebody was receiving the diagnosis. So, you know, our department is a family. We try to work together.
And together with donations from the community, they created this pink truck to fight fires and to fight all types of cancer.
You know, everybody knows somebody that has cancer, somebody's life's affected by cancer, and we feel like we need to do something. We just want to show support to our brothers and to the community, let them know that we're there thinking about them.
Excellent.
Ellen Cahill was heading through town and had to stop to get a closer look.
Heading on vacation, I spotted the pink truck. And being a recent cancer survivor, breast cancer, I got excited.
Excited for the hope, encouragement, and the love the truck gives. But most of all, the awareness.
It means that people are aware of what's going on, and if it can help save somebody for awareness, I think it's wonderful.
This pink truck isn't just for looks either. It's a fully functioning engine that you might see in action whenever it's needed. In Chesapeake, Joel Hilson, 10 on your side.
And Chesapeake's pink fire truck will be on tour, stopping at every fire station in the city.
For times and locations, just check it out on WAVY.com.
Well, this is created as a way to help seniors who own their homes.
But now reverse mortgages are getting harder to get. We'll explain why. And do you know a student who's having a hard time managing their finances? We have exactly what they need to stay on track.
Enough is enough. After months of living like this, residents to turn a 10 on your side. What we uncovered behind these walls. Next. You know those reverse home mortgages you've been hearing so much about? Well, they're going to be harder to get in the future. That's because the two largest providers have left the business. Wells Fargo stopped taking applications last Friday, and Bank of America did so back in February. Reverse mortgages let people who are 62 or older get cash from their home equity. They can get it either in a lump sum or a line of credit or monthly payments. The loan is due when the owner dies. Yet another way to compute the rising cost of that sheepskin. A new website from the Department of Education compares tuition rates and prices minus financial aid, and this goes a bit further. The site also throws vocational programs in the mix. For instance, cosmetology school or an electrician's program. We have a link to that site on WAVY.com. See how much extra education costs you. WAVY News 10 at 5:30 is free. It starts right now.